So 2020 has been a bit of a shit show, shall we say. This is my breakdown of my feelings, and probably not made for kids. So lockdown has been interesting. Obviously, we've been out of it for a while now. We've been trying to get back to some form of normal life, socially distanced, wearing face coverings, washing our hands regularly, sanitizing every chance we get. And it's not going away anytime soon. I've been struggling. I struggled during lockdown. I have felt joy in returning to work, and I don't think I'd be in a good position if things hadn't started to go a different way. It's interesting when you think about it, because a lot of us live alone on a daily basis, a regular basis, and we probably just crack on. But there are moments where I'm up and then I'm down, and I don't know when that's going to happen. I don't know how I'm going to feel from minute to minute. I have, for those of you that don't know, I have multiple sclerosis, and that kind of impacts my mood on a regular basis. Lockdown being thrown on top of that, coronavirus, the potential threat that it holds over people's lives. And whilst it might be exaggerated, shall we say, by the media, there has to be some certain level of fact and acknowledgement that this virus is real and that we're all living with it on a daily basis right now. I myself have been tested. I was ill around a month ago, just over, and it all came back negative. Thankfully, I wasn't affected. My family had been tested, all of them, and again, all negative tests. But what this has really helped me do is open up and analyse myself and analyse the way I handle things and my emotions and how I come to terms with things. And one of the things I've got to accept right now is that although I am working regularly, I am seeing people on a regular basis, which is great, human interaction is still very much a novelty right now. Although that's happening, I am here in this flat on my own. Now, I haven't been permanently. I had housemates for a couple of weeks, and that was great, having company in the flat. But once that's gone, it's gone. And I come home every day, be it from work, the gym, going out into the city. I come home and I'm alone. And it's a strange sensation. It's a strange feeling. And how do I react to that? How do I react to being lonely? I distract myself consistently through other means. Be that I'll take to my phone as I'm doing now and I will record myself singing. I will record some karaoke tracks because I don't have a formal setup. I'm just starting out. This is as good as it gets with my laptop. So I don't have a formal way of presenting myself. What you see is what you get right now. I sit here in my living room and I perform. If I'm not doing that, I'll be cleaning, I'll be washing, I will be looking at things to buy, because let's face it, Christmas is around the corner. The end of the year is coming. Thank fuck. I think we can all agree on that. 2020, it can do one. It can fly through the window and never shall we speak of it again. Like Voldemort. The year shall not be named. So I distract myself permanently. And that really has had an impact recently on my ability to shut this off as well. I am unable to sleep regularly. I am fatigued on a daily basis. And that in turn makes the things that I usually do to distract myself feel more like a chore, rather than things that in some parts, such as the singing, going to the gym, etc., things that I enjoy doing, they feel more like a job. And I'm trying to get myself away from that. I'm trying to get myself away from that negative way of thinking about the things that I enjoy, because that is just part of the endless cycle of depression and anxiety. And I tell you one thing that I am totally anxious about, completely anxious about, is the thought of ending this year alone. I know it's only September and we still have 3 months left of the year that shall not be named. But we don't know what those 3 months are going to throw at us. We don't know what the national picture, the global picture is going to be in 3 months. And that sets in some anxieties. I am very much a family person, especially at Christmas. I love being around those that I love and I care about. And there's a real potential that that won't happen. There's a real potential that for the first time ever in my life, the holiday will be celebrated on my own. And that's the thought process that I'm currently going through. And that keeps clicking in every now and again. For the last 5 years, 6 years, I've had a very busy Christmas period. I finish work for the holidays. I will then be in one location for a certain amount of days. I'll be in another location for a certain amount of days, ultimately leading me back here for work to begin in the new year. And now I don't think I'll get that separation. It's a very real chance that that won't happen. And I'm just trying to wrap my head around that. Recently, I have no idea why, but recently, social media has become clogged with conspiracy theories and anti-media propaganda. And yeah, the media isn't 100% accurate. The media is biased. We know that. All media is biased. Every media stream has an angle that they want to get across. They have an agenda. That's fine, because we know that. We acknowledge that. What I really take issue with is when platforms like Facebook become the throne of all things that are true. When did that happen? When did we start subverting messages and believing that there's a separation between the media and ordinary people? There isn't. There's no separation between the media and ordinary people. And they all have the capacity to lie. They all have the capacity to spin an agenda. We all do. As humans, we all have the ability to spin a tale and to turn it in such a way that it suits us. That in part it makes us feel better, or it makes us feel like we've got the upper hand in something when really we don't. There's been the term a lot over the lockdown period and recently, the term Karen. Why Karen? I have no idea. I've never had a problem with a Karen, but that seems to be the name of the people that moan, or as it appears on social media. And the irony is, it's those people who get moaned about that are actually the ones who are feeding the facts, and people are buying into it. Now, facts are facts. That's fine. But your facts have to have a valid source. It can't just be, oh, well, actually, the total number of cases does not add up, and the total number of deaths are simply steady. The media are scaremongering us all. Shut up. For lack of a better phrase, just shut up. You might be an anti-masker. You might believe that the COVID-19 pandemic is made up. It's a fairy tale. You might believe that. All I can tell you is, something like this is a fairy tale. A virus is not. We're doing what we're doing not because the media are scaring us. We're doing what we're doing out of compassion, out of simply being human. Common human decency. That's why we're doing it. But in turn, that human decency also has a negative impact because it leads to feelings like what I'm expressing in this video. Loneliness. Being isolated even when you're not isolating. It's strange. The world is strange and there's no other way to put it. And I'm hoping for everyone that the year ends in a better way than it has carried on for the last 7 months or so. I really do hope that. I don't know how realistic that is. And we're heading into 2021 having to deal with a pretty crap situation. But we've all got to keep on smiling. We've all got to keep on caring for each other. We've all just got to be human. This has provided a lot of time for some self-analysis, and I think it should for you as well. I don't share my feelings very often. I've started to, because otherwise I would be like a bonfire waiting to go off, like a firework waiting to split open. That's how I would be. So if there's a message to take away from this, talk to each other. Be safe. Know your facts. If you want to hear more from me, smash the like button. And if you really like me, then subscribe. Have a good night, folks. I'll leave it there. Take care of yourselves.